All right, Dan, if you want to go ahead and start.
She already did.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of talking. We can edit, I think. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Excited for today, primarily because this week, oh my goodness, it has created, in at least our world, multiple houses that we care for are frozen. Like our home, there are things that are frozen on it. We have a frost-free that's on the outside of the home that froze. So, I mean, it's been super, super duper cold, right? And for a moment, because sometimes in the midst of all of this, we separate weather from us until we notice that I broke my thumb cross-country skiing 35 years ago, and then I noticed the weather and my body. But I do want to just take a moment for you to pause, and that's going to be the theme of the class today, is the pause. You know, this is the winter series, and winter offers this deep, I'm going to use a pun, seated pause, right? Under the soil, where things are happening at a much slower, much deeper, intentional sense to prepare us for what comes, right? So in this pause, I want you just to connect with degrees that were below zero. I can feel it actually in this space, like right here. I don't know if it's the door, something. And how did that and does that affect the way you move, the way you think, the way you feel in your own body? So with your eyes open or closed, whatever feels good, take a breath, settle into your seat, allow what was to be there, bringing yourself here. How was that for you? Were you cold? Yeah. Did you have to get out in it? How did that feel in your body? Did you prepare different to come here? Was there an invitation this week for a pause because of the cold? A deeper pause? Was that an easy space or a hard space? Did you find yourself bored? How did you fill that space? And then the last question, the emotions around it, the pause. Placing your hand on your belly, other hand on top. Taking your hips way far behind you. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And as you're sitting in your chair, feel that tailbone move back. So you're sitting on your sits bones, those bones right underneath you. Can you find more space in your body? The top of your head reaching a little bit closer to the ceiling. You need to place a block underneath your feet to give you some ground. And in this space created, notice where your rib cage is. Is it forward so that your back is swaying? Is it back so that the front part of yourself is collapsing? Or can you bring your rib cage right over your hips? Dropping into the seat, feeling your shoulders slide down from your ears. Take your head forward as far as it'll go. Just your head. And then your head back as far as it'll go. Dropping your chin down. Really just moving the head now back and forth. Forwards and backwards. Forwards, backwards. Then tilting it side to side. Feeling into any of those spaces. And then circling the top of your head one direction. And circling it the other direction. Notice your shoulders. Have they come to protect anything, or are they soft down your back? And then find that perfect, easeful balance of your head on your body. Notice if you've lost the length in your torso or if your tail has tucked underneath you. Invite all of that in. Now, hands on your belly, space that you've created. Big breath in through your nose. The back expands towards the chair, the belly out towards your hands. And as you exhale, everything hugs and sucks back into your center. Sides, front, back. Now with this next inhalation, we're all going to inhale together. And when we do, we're going to enjoy and take the invitation of the pause at the top of the inhale. So inhale, our body expands. Pause. Notice what the body is patterned to do. Can you soften that? Soften it, soften the pause. Then exhale all the way out. Hug and suck the body into center. Invitation to pause. Can you soften around that pause? Then as you inhale, again, invitation to pause at the top of that inhale. And you may even feel tension in this pause. Can you soften around the tension? And when you need to exhale, exhale. Find the invitation for pause at the end after all the air is out. Do that 3 more times on your own, really connecting with the invitation for the pause. And maybe stay in that pause as long as feels capacity. It may be past comfort even. And when you finish that last breath, really noticing the pause, let your eyes open if they're closed, no rush. Hands down by your side. Give yourself a little shake and wiggle. And I'd love to hear, was there any feeling, emotion, thing that arose in you when you went to the pause? When you were in that space?
I was more anxious when I was in the pause after I had let my breath out, wanting to breathe again.
On the exhale.
At the exhale, pause, harder than the one where I was full aware.
Okay. Anyone else have an observation during the pause?
I feel tight.
Tension happens.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Take one more breath, really bringing your focus to that invitation to pause. Feeling into that, and see if there's something that you can even tell yourself, like, I'm going to breathe again, I'm fine, and see if that can help create a different view of that pause. So do 3 breaths that way. Notice your jaw. Are you holding the pause anywhere? See if you can soften into the pause. And when you're finished, let your eyes open. Whew. Shake out any of that hold, any of that tension. Bring your arms in front, cross. Can you find a swing? Take one on top and then the other. Pause. Let your arms fall right to the side. Okay? Taking one arm up, one arm down. It doesn't matter which direction. Reach, reach, reach. Find the ground, press it to the ground, and we're going to swing back and forth. Can you get a rhythm? Boom, boom. You may have to move your body to actually find it. Like your head, hips are grounded, back is safe. You're all good. Press into the ground. Feel that belly kick on. I see a lot of reaching. Can we find a swing? There you go. And then slowly bring it down. Pause. Notice. Anything shift or change? Lots of crunching, yes. Totally.
My fingers tingle.
Okay. Why might your fingers tingle? Anyone?
There's nerves.
Totally, it kicks on our nervous system, right? And our circulation. Right? Okay, so we're going to do those 2 again. So we're going to cross and pause for just a second. Notice, I see a lot of bodies. Do you see what I'm doing? No, and shift, see if this is available. Do y'all see? I'm using gravity. My hands are soft, my wrists are soft. It's almost silly play. See if you can I'm whacking my back. Dropping your shoulders. You're using your shoulders. Anybody feel that? In a way that you may not use your shoulders very often. Find your breath. When our brain's trying to figure something out, everybody goes. I'm like, breathe, people, breathe. All right, pause. one again. So one arm up, one arm down. And again, this one I saw a lot of. See if you can find the swing. Even if you clap in the middle, you can add some crazy. Can you find the swing? So move from those shoulders. Find loose in wrists and hands. Press your feet if you want to work on some abs right here. Strong in your core. 2 or 3 more times if you got it. Find your breath.
I'm a swimmer now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pause. Notice. Any new sensation, any new thing going on?
My right shoulder's outside.
No worries, I gotcha.
Okay.
Does that feeling or notice, is there an uplift in the way that you feel right now? Or a down? It's definitely an up, right? Yes. So here's the cool thing. We're just moving our body, but it's doing all these other things. And there are times where I just need a quick uplift. Did y'all ever experience that? Okay, y'all are gonna look at my window and see Cameron going after it. All right, I got this. It's all good. All right, so we think about exercise as being this mechanical thing that's supposed to like create this thing inside of us, right? Well, this is really good for us. Watch, everyone take their arms opposite direction, stretch. What is your chest doing? It's opening. As we age, what happens to our chest? We get like this, right? So mechanically, we're doing fantastic stuff when we're opening and closing. We're using big muscles, right? We're crossing our midlines. All this awesome stuff going on, but it's affecting us at a deeper level as well. So, hands on your lap, press in, roll your shoulders. Forwards and back, whichever works best. Roll them this way. Okay, now, if you just roll at your shoulders, can you invite your wholeness into the roll? What happens if you come forward? And then come back. Change direction. If you were going forward, move your shoulders backwards. Can you come forward with your body? Are your feet way off the ground, or do you still have connection? And pause. Notice. Take a big breath into your belly. Back expands, belly expands. Big breath out. Do that again. Big breath into your belly. Can you feel your body actually connect to the back of the chair better when you breathe in? Look for that. And then as you exhale, hug, suck, corset everything back, and get a little taller. All right, pause. We're not quite done with our shoulders yet. We're going to take our hands, and like we're swimming, but we're going to watch with our eyeballs. Come back, forward, back, forward. Now, swing it. So first do it where you're getting just the mechanics of it, and then second, begin to swing it. Follow it best you can until you get dizzy. Pause, you can close your eyes, don't watch. And then go back, follow it again. For some of you, this angle might need to be shortened. You can just bring your hand to your shoulder and just do smaller. Okay, now pause. Anybody feel a little woo-woo? Yeah. So we're gonna go back. Other direction. See if you can find the swing. Whichever direction you didn't do.
I don't know.
I've been there.
Pick one.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, see if you can follow your fingers some. Working into that whole, this is balance work, guys. Up, over. If you need to close your eyes, find the ground in your seat and in your feet, then you can open them up again. And slowly come back. Hands in your lap. Take a pause. Notice the difference between the way that side feels and the way the other side feels. Is there a difference? I actually can feel it even in my cheek. Yeah. Okay, so we have two sides. We're going to invite the other side into the fun. Initially, just go slow, feel the action. Tell your body this is what we're going to do. And then slowly find your little swing and maybe follow the hand. Find your breath. As big or as little, if you need to bring your hand onto your shoulder, because your shoulder is like, owie, owie, owie. Do that a couple more times. Big breath in, breath out, slowly bring it down. Find the pause. Anybody feeling some vibrations even in their body? Yeah. I was teaching a class once and we had done some of this work and there was a little kid in the class and I said, so how are you guys feeling? And she looks up and she's like, I feel alive. And I was like, I didn't pay her to say that. All right, and really think about, like, how does this kind of action feel in our body? How does it move in our brain? How does it give us perspective?
It is work for me to remember to breathe.
It is work. So this next time, put that at the top and then the movement. Value the breath more than the action, okay? Just for this practice, see if it shifts, Mom, in your brain. Value the breath more than the action. Because we get so caught up in the do. What am I doing, right? That we're forgetting what's the fuel for our doing, and then who's going to tire out way faster. But if we value the fuel, the breath, more than the action, we may not be able to go as fast or, whatever. We're going to begin to train our brain to look for that first. Oh yes, I need to breathe, and then I'm going to go run my marathon. So here we go. If you went backwards, move forwards, go slow, take your gaze, follow your hand, up and over, then begin to find that swing, pressing into your feet if that feels comfortable. I notice this hand wants to grip sometimes. Try to find just that isolation of the movement. Head moves sometimes as well. Notice the breath. Take 2 more. And bring it down. Big breath. Can you feel the belly in the back? Hug, suck in on the exhale. Feel the belly in the back. One more time, big breath. And in this pause, notice, did my head come way forward? That's what I just noticed. My head was definitely forward. Find back to that center connect. That's what the pause is for, right? So we have the actions, whatever it is. Take this out of just body. Think about emotion. Think about all of it. And then what's the pause? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right? It gives us the moment, the integrity to be able to find that center, to perspect from that place, right? So with eyes open or closed, however you feel comfortable, pause. Feel into your body. Ask the questions. Is my chin too high? Does that stretch my neck one way or the other? Where's my rib cage? Am I being held by my seat? Am I collapsed? Am I breathing? With your next inhale, let your eyes open. Grab your block if you don't, and if you are short, move forward in your seat so your feet touch the ground. Take your block and notice that you place it so that the top part is bigger than the bottom so we don't have dangle back here. Squeeze into the block. Okay? Now, with hands either on your seat or on your thigh, we're gonna stand. So squeeze. When you squeeze, feel that core connection. Did y'all just see what happens to my body? I get just a little taller, a little more connected to this line. Okay? From there, I'm going to come forward, hands on my thighs, lift my bottom, and come all the way up. Squeeze. Feel that inner connection right here. Take the pause. Notice. However it is that I land, right? Woo. In yoga, it's called mountain pose. Why might it be called mountain? When the wind comes? When the snowstorms? When the rain? Mountain pose. Feel the inside of your feet directly attached to the ground. Big toe, inner heel, squeeze. Now your chair is behind you, but if you need to just check and tell your brain, I got a chair behind me, please feel free. Otherwise, we're gonna hinge at our hips, bottom goes back. You can put your hands on your thighs if you need to. Find the chair. Scary. Yeah, I was close too. All right, 4 or 5 more times in your body. Pause at the top. Find where you land. See if you can core connect once you're there, right? Now, next step, our invitation to play would be hands from here to hands here, or here, or here. And not to propel you up, but to give you a different balance feel as you move towards standing, okay? So, find your breath, always, ground feet. Notice your feet. If they're like way out or whatever, bring them in underneath your body. So Agnes, bring your feet in so you really have a good foundation to stand. Then from there, feel that core connect and do your thing. Advanced, lift on that exhale. Got it, lift on that exhale. Use your hands.
I can do it with my feet close together.
That was better. So the muscles that you have trained to get up have your feet here. If you bring them in just a little bit, you're inviting different muscles and strengthening different ways. So that's what you felt, was these are like not used to this. Great. So play with it. Go slow. Where are your shoulders when you come up? Are they? Can you soften your shoulders? Can you lift with that intentional core connect? And if you can't, can you be excited that you just found a place that gets to get stronger? And put your hands and push if you need to. Look at Papa, he's showing off people.
I've been doing this for 2 years. About time I learned. Yeah, 50 times a day is what she took.
For 2 years?
Is that
2
what she
years
does when
since
you
we
come to
started.
visit? You know? Okay, no.
Show me Pop, show me Pop. All right,
Right?
everyone rise, feel into the rise. Now we're gonna slow this down, like as if we were in slow-mo camera. So it's gonna look like this. Dunk, 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 dunk. I'm squeezing. Notice my shoulders are away from my ears. Do y'all see? Ooh, find the pause. Find the pause, people. Find the pause. See if your jaw, and then when you come back up, find the pause.
Don't forget to breathe.
Squeeze, breathe, come up. Okay, 2 more times and I promise we'll be done with this. Slow, pause, soft jaw. Squeeze, squeeze, inner, 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 inner. Okay, here's the advance. Your seat is made out of glass. So if you go to sit on your seat and you plop, you can reach back even if you need to find it with your hands. But sit slow. Super hard. Squeeze and come up. Great. Take the block out, put it on your chair. Shake it. Shake out your hips, shake out your legs, your toes. Maybe find a couple of swings. Can you bounce a little? If you really want to get advanced, take your feet off the ground. You can grab your chair, that one's fun. We have a trampoline. So find that bounce however in your body. If you need to just one leg at a time, heel up. Now can you bring a little whoosh whoosh in your hips? Whoosh whoosh. I love this. This is how adults do this. So find a whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Okay, can you tilt your hips forward? So now I'm really sitting back. And then can I bring it forward? And can you do that? This is just observation, people. Can you do that just in your pelvis, in your hips? Front, back, side, side. Front, back, circle. We're gonna line dance after this. And then pause. Feel in the pause. What do you feel? Are you lightheaded?
Yes.
Big breath.
Oh, not bad.
Yep. Big breath. Big breath in. I homeschool my kids, and my 13-year-old, I will look over at her and she'll be as pale as that wall. And it's when she's trying really hard to do a math problem or she's trying really hard to get something. And so she's like really intense, right? And I'll look at her, I'm like, Kate, breathe. And she'll go, so, hey, breathe.
Well, she has to know the brain can't work if it doesn't have any oxygen.
Exactly. I'm like, if you want to get that math problem, you better breathe. All right. Have you guys ever been driving down the highway and you see a used cars lot and they have these things that are like blow up things, right?
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
All right. So normally we do the bubble popping, right? Okay. So today I want you to take your block, stick it between your legs, and I'm going to tell you why. Most of us have a core disconnect in our primary life. So when we add all this other stuff, there is potential for us to get disconnected. And in disconnection, there is potential for injury. When we bring the block between our legs, that's why if you don't have a block at home, take it with you, okay? When you take this block and you squeeze it, the action of squeezing the block creates the core connect. All right? So it's a hack that gives you something that you're working towards, right? Babies, core connected. To roll, can you imagine how much that takes? Because what are their limbs? Do they have a lot of muscle in their limbs? No. But they don't hurt themselves because they are all action from their body. Okay? So we're remembering. Each one of you guys, I hope, are a baby. If not alien, and please tell me your story later. But with that knowing, right, I remember this. Oh yeah, I can move from this strong place inside of me. Now, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes for a moment. Okay? If you don't, keep your eyes open and just soften them on the ground in front of you. With your eyes closed, I want you to see that silly little thing that's at the used car lot trying to get your attention. Okay? It has arms, it has little pokey things, it's not even human. Now here's the invitation. If you need to open your eyes, open them. There's some spatial stuff with that. But just begin to move your limbs, your arms, as that moves. Now bring it up. Invite your torso, your neck. You can even bring your arms overhead. What would your cheeks be doing? Would your jaw be super tight? What about the wave action front and back? Ooh. Now, open your eyes. Sorry that you're gonna all get to be silly together. And the wind moves. The body moves. Find your breath. Squeeze the block to really protect that core connection. Can anyone move into the front and back part of their body? Arms can go different ways. What about a little bit of turn? Softening your knees. Does that give you a little bounce? We'll be here for about another 30 seconds. Find your breath. You can bring it in if you need to, just a tiny bit. Sometimes there's not much wind and they look like this. Do that, that feels good. And slowly pause. Everybody, big breath in. Big, huge breath out. One more time, big breath in. Big, huge breath out. We're gonna take our arms up overhead, yawn. drop your hands, shake it out. Now, take a block out. Pause. Where am I? Where have I landed? What do I notice? What what do I feel?
But I feel my feet more than I feel because I took the block out.
Okay.
My ankles and feet really hang on
Yeah.
rather than.
The pause. Is there any part of you that's holding that doesn't need to be? Can you find the fullness of your foundation, your feet? Can you soften the knees? Trust that ground. Can you breathe into your body? Maybe turn your head to the right, to the left. If I told you we're gonna have to stand here for an hour, is there anything that you could do? Rib cage, chin, neck, sides of your body, jaw, tongue, to soften into this space. I've even realized that my gaze can be super intense. Can I soften my gaze? Using as little. So like if we really plug our big toe in and our inner heel, what is that gonna kick on? That inner core connect that you can rely on. So here's the pause. And a question to ask. Is the pause a challenge for me to be in? Do I fight it? Do I resist it? Have I ever given it permission to offer me something? If we continue to move like this for the next hour, how would that be for us? It would be super uber awful, right? So, what can the pause give us? It can give us a moment to relax, to restore. If I take the pause, can I do that again? Yes. With renewed energy, with renewed capacity, with renewed vision and perspective, for sure. Checking into where I am. I'm holding y'all in a pause. Hopefully some of you are like, God, Cameron, stop. Do something else. Because often, when it's negative whatever, it's uncomfortable. We can't get done what we thought we needed to get done. We're being, like, our brain is like, ah. But if we perspect differently, if our perspective has a shift, how can this fuel me, this pause, nourish me, so that when I am offered the time to do, that I am able to do it in a way that has strength, balance, coordination, energy, capacity. So, as we move and do, allow our perspective to ask the questions of the pause. Okay, if everyone will find a seat, as we bring class to an end, you might want to bring your block under your feet so that your bottom is back, sitting on your sits bones. Hands in your lap. You can begin to rub on the front of your legs, feeling into all that you have invited, the circulation, the connection, the movement. You can even get into your hip, your lower back, sides of your body, rib cage, up into your chest, right at your collarbones, maybe into one shoulder, down your arm, front and under. I guess that would be top. Wrist, hands, fingers, other shoulder, top, underneath. That's yours for next week. Take your fingertips, find the back of your neck. Long, deep swipes coming down. Maybe down into the front. Then you can hang in the back of your neck for a while. Use your fingertips to knead into that tissue. I like to kind of squeeze a little bit. Taking your pointer and your middle finger up on either side of your ears, and then squeezing as you bring them down. Feeling into the jaw. If you take your pointer finger, you can actually find that groove that's right behind the ear. It's usually tender back there. There's a lot of things going on. You have lymphatics, you have tendons, and then you can bring it down under your jaw. And then gently just kind of rub into your cheeks, underneath your eyes, gently over your temples and your forehead. Maybe swooping down right here on your nose and the bridge of your nose. And then tips of your finger up on the top of your head. Like those cool little massager thingies. Go all over above your ears, behind your ears. You may even find some tender places. Just pause, notice. And with a really big swoop from the top of your head, come down all the way. And if you can and want, you can bend down and actually come all the way down and kind of out to your feet. Come back up. Eyes settled, either closed or looking out in front of you, hands on your thigh. What is the pause offering? If there was something that you thought about or did or moved your body in today that you want to remember, that you want to take with you and bring it into your life, use this pause to connect with that thought, action, whatever it may be. And then envision yourself in your world, in your life, doing it, thinking it, inviting it in. As we all take a deep breath in through our nose, belly fills, back fills, sides fill. Pause. Exhale. completely. Pause. Then allow your eyes to open, and with that gentle, natural inhale, maybe sigh. Hands over your heart. So much gratitude for coming, moving, doing, playing, laughing, investigating with all of us today. Thank you. If you have thoughts and questions, always ask.